Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford-Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show. When does an addition not look like an addition? After we make a few simple changes to hide the fact and make the space more comfortable. I feel like you guys are ganging up on us here. What do you think so far?
Unbelievable.
Lisa Merle bought this home almost 2 years ago and she loves it, but she has discovered some issues with the back den addition that was built by the previous owner.
Well, when I first bought the house and I saw the den which had been added to the house, it had a hot tub and a pool table, and I thought, oh, what a great room, I can have parties out here. It didn't quite work out. It was a do-it-yourself job, I believe, by the previous owner, so it wasn't done correctly.
Oh, it's a big room.
Yeah, this is huge.
It's big like a bowling alley, but I have a hot tub down here.
That's
which,
interesting, okay.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time when I bought my house.
I always just think about it creating so much humidity in a room.
Well, and it's hot out here anyway because there's not really adequate air conditioning. They cut into the vents.
Yeah, I
the
see
existing
that.
air conditioner.
But then you also have a window unit.
And
Yeah, the window
I
unit.
had to buy a window unit because
It wasn't cutting it?
No, it is still very, very hot out here in the summertime. So now my air conditioner in there really doesn't cut it because it takes away trying to cool out here.
Right.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable, but I tough it out because I really like that area.
What about the brick wall? You know, some people like brick walls as far as an accent inside their house. What do you think?
Well, that's a little much of a brick wall because
Yeah.
it's like 40 feet, I think.
It looks like the back of a house.
It does. It looks like they just screened in a back porch to the house.
Yeah.
So
And what about the windows? Would you miss those windows if they were out of there?
probably not.
Because that gives you a little more, you know, a little more wall space.
I can hang more pictures.
Yeah, hang more pictures.
Yes, I can
That's right.
decorate more.
That small window, is that, what is that, the kitchen?
That's the kitchen. Yes.
What about a pass-through there? Have you thought about that?
I think that would be a great idea because I would like a little table out here where I could sit with my coffee. I think that'd work.
Well, I can see a lot of things that we can do to make it look a lot more like a finished space.
Sounds great to me. Wonderful.
Besides covering those bricks and removing the windows and hot tub, we'll add a super efficient ductless air conditioner and upgrade the moldings in the addition to match the rest of the house. Before we start the work, our electrician, Wayne, disconnects the hot tub and relocates the wiring outside for the new air conditioner. Lisa begins clearing out all of the small items so that when we return, we get right to removing the furniture. This is a pretty big job, so Lisa recruited her daughter, Rachel, to help, and we brought along our handyman, Bear, and his helper, Ryan.
I totally understand why Lisa would want to get rid of this hot tub. It's big and it's just ugly.
Just go straight that way on three. 1, 2, 3.
Ah, my
Okay.
foot.
Okay.
It landed on my toe, but I powered through. I didn't want to say anything because I wanted the hot tub out of that room.
Oh my gosh, there's water in it. I can only imagine how gross this water is since it's been sitting in the hot tub for over a year.
I didn't know that that water had been sitting in that hot tub, and no wonder I had allergies, and it just really grossed me out.
Okay. Okay, we're rolling on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I can be able to fit through the door.
The
We're too
height's
tall.
good, but I didn't allow for the dolly.
But the dolly seemed like such a great idea.
I'm not sure if it's going to fit out those double doors.
You're clear now, let's go. Tell your neighbors what was ready for him.
Yeah, come and get it, neighbor. Let's spread out.
Now that we have most of the furniture removed from the room, we can start taking away the things that make this addition look like an addition. Here's a very obvious one. Now this is the molding they use for base molding, but it matches nothing inside the house. We're going to remove all of this, install all of the drywall over the bricks, then put traditional molding in. It'll look a lot more like the original house. The molding along the brick wall is glued in place, but on the outside wall, it's nailed in place. And not only did they use the wrong molding for the baseboard, they also used the wrong nails. You just don't use a headed nail. Look how unattractive that is. And screws in the casing around the back door. I'm really puzzled now.
Why does this have to come down?
We're just getting everything back to the brick so we can make sure the drywall's nice and flush.
Knocked over the little pry tool and the hammer.
It's okay, we didn't need that window.
We're gonna take out the window, aren't we?
What was it Dad said? These were just tacked on?
He said they were little tacks.
They were like 2-inch nails and they were pretty thick. Woo! Take that, freeze board.
Just rip through it.
I'll tell you, when we put the drywall over these bricks, I think you're going to really see the biggest difference because it'll make it seem a lot larger, but in order for us to glue this to this all has to go right here. Bump up on these, just bump up like this, and let's see if we can get all of these bricks out of here.
I can't wait.
Okay,
Ready?
go ahead.
Ooh.
Maybe down, try down on it.
Oh! I love busting out those bricks. It was really fun.
Now we're talking. You even rang the bucket, that's great.
Ready?
For certain home improvement projects and woodworking projects, you often need to cut an arc or part of a circle. Now you can mark them using a can. This is a great way to do it. Either a large diameter circle, you need to use a large paint can, or for smaller diameter circles or arcs, you can use a smaller can, a spray can, then you just cut along there. But what happens if you need to cut a long sweeping arc? Well, you can't use a can, but you can do that using simply a length of string and a narrow wooden board. Start by using a handsaw to cut a slot on each end of the board and then tie a knot in the string. Now all you need to do is slip the string into one of the slots. There we go. Then flip the board around. And now just bend the board to the desired arc and slip the string into the second end and just tie it off so it doesn't slip. And there. You have what essentially looks like a kid's bow and arrow, right? And then you hold it in place onto your workpiece. Then you just mark it. Just draw the pencil right along the piece of wood that's being held again by that string. And there you go. Perfectly smooth arc, ready to be cut.
We're making the addition on the back of Lisa's house look and function more like a natural part of the house. Our HVAC contractor, Randy, begins the installation of the ductless mini-split system that will serve the area.
Everybody's moving towards this, especially in a one-room application. It's great.
Okay, and so the main unit, the wall unit will be positioned here. Any theory as far as how high or how low?
We'd like to install the end door about a foot off the ceiling level because returns at the top,
good.
blows air at the bottom.
Yeah, great, good. Okay, well go ahead and do whatever you need. I'll get my drywall tools ready for whatever damage you make.
We'll be calling you soon.
Okay, good. Once Randy's technicians open up the wall, they run the drain and refrigerant lines before connecting them to the outside unit. This carrier system has a seasonal energy efficiency ratio of 42. That makes it one of the most efficient cooling systems you can buy in North America, and its integrated humidity sensor will also ensure that this addition is a comfortable space for Lisa.
So our solution to get rid of the screws on this casing is to remove these and replace them with these flat-headed ones.
Okay.
And then we can recess them more, and then we're going to cover them up with putty. So I'll go along and take them out, and then you can come right behind me. Oh. It was still in reverse. That was really embarrassing. Please don't use that. The good thing about the reverse button on a drill, you have a 50-50 chance of getting it right.
Meanwhile, Bear and I carefully began removing the larger windows so we can frame in the space to be covered with drywall. But as soon as we get it out, I can sense some conversation going on.
Dad might not like me suggesting this, but what if we left that open?
I think I'm liking that.
Doesn't it look
Yes.
like it's supposed to be there, and then we would close in the smaller door opening?
Right.
It would just look more like a design part of it
Like
instead
this.
of like it was an add-on where you walk through to what used to
Right.
be your patio.
Right.
And that just made so much sense because it brought in so much light and it looked more natural than what used to be the back door to the porch.
Let's look from the outside in and make sure we like it from the outside
Okay,
too.
okay, we'll do that. Yeah, I love it. I think it's,
I feel like you guys are ganging up on us here.
I think you're gonna like it though, because we're gonna leave this here and close in that door instead.
Leave this as an opening.
I'm not surprised. I really think it's a good idea.
Change order, right?
That's right, exactly.
Change order. There we go. I like it.
Whenever they said that we were going to be removing the bricks for the walkthrough, I volunteered first. I get the bigger sledgehammer.
Yeah, I know. And then just take it easy and hit it right about there.
And so I was just lightly swinging it.
Harder. Little harder.
You said lightly tap it. I mean, you didn't tell me to break out the guns here. I'll just come to every job and do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some anger management right there. I'd love to do that again.
By the end of day one, we've completed all of the brick removal and started framing in the old back door. Early in the morning, Bear finishes flushing the door framing to the surrounding bricks while Ryan secures the furring above the brick wall. So here's another example of something that was just not done right on this addition. They had a water faucet here on the outside wall, and they routed it down and out and around to provide water to the outside. That's not the most attractive way of doing it. So we've turned off the water, we've drained everything here. I'll remove this piping, cap it off here. We can drywall right over it.
Turn the water on, Bear.
Finally, we're ready to hang drywall.
You know how much I love construction adhesive. This is a fun time for me. Okay, I'm gonna let you do it, okay?
All right.
Here's what you do. You grab the gun like this, and then you're just going to go around the perimeter, but then just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle like that all around like that.
I can be messy.
Yeah, you can be messy.
Dee Dee kept saying, make more squiggles, make more squiggles. Can I draw a picture?
You can write your name.
It's your drywall. You can do what you
I
want.
can do what I want. I'm going to sign it.
Totally something I would have done.
This adhesive from Titebond is designed specifically for drywall, so this stuff will stay put. When the back of each piece is coated, we press it in place over the bricks, and I drive a few masonry nails in around the perimeter.
This just kind of tacks it to the wall so that the glue can dry.
That's all we're doing.
Meanwhile, Bear and Ryan are covering the inside of the old door opening, and the layout is really taking shape.
You know, a battery-operated miter saw is nothing new, but having a battery-operated miter saw that's going to give you power and long runtime is. Take a look at this Ryobi 1+1 miter saw. Now, this is a compound miter saw, but it also has the sliding feature on it. Now, it's got the other features that you would expect in a compound miter saw. The bevel goes both ways. It also allows you to get all the different angles and locks into place, of course. And if you are cutting, making cross cuts on wider lumber, you can get up to 12 inches on this base right here. But what sets it apart for me is this little feature. It runs on two 18-volt batteries that you just pop right in here, and the motor is brushless. Well, what does a brushless motor mean? It means it's got more power and longer runtime on those batteries before you have to put them back on the charger. So, if you are in the market for a cordless miter saw, Ryobi has ended your search.
We're covering the brick wall in the addition to Lisa's house to make it feel less like an addition. Chelsea marks the location of the electrical outlet by coating the edge of the box with lip gloss, so when we press the drywall against it, we have a perfect outline for the cut.
He hands me this little, like, knife-looking thing I could cut a steak with. And he was like, you just pop it through. So when it went through the first time and it went through so quickly, I was kind of shocked. I thought it was going to be much harder, but it was really, really fast and quick to do.
Before we cover the old door opening, we're filling the empty space with some rock wool sound dampening insulation, so there's no hollow sound in that area to give away the fact that it was once a door.
I'm too short.
Squeeze it in there.
Just like when you squeeze into your jeans in the morning.
I was like,
Oh wait, that's me.
Oh, Lord. You went too far.
Even though it's a 40-foot wall, it goes quickly because we're covering 8 feet at a time. Once all of the drywall is installed, I can begin finishing it while Chelsea gets Lisa and Rachel started on another project.
I hate to keep picking on the previous homeowner or whoever did the work here, but it's pretty obvious that they started the texturing on the drywall in this corner and worked their way around the room because it's really bad over here and really heavy, and then it gets to the actual orange peel texture down there.
Right.
So what we're going to do is just lightly sand it over here to make it match what's on that half of the room.
Okay.
And you can just see how quickly, like that's all you have to do.
Oh, that's nice.
So we just want to touch every inch, but just very, very lightly.
Lightly,
And then we'll
okay.
be done.
All righty.
Okay.
I think we can do that.
By the end of the day, Lisa and Rachel have sanded all of the overdone orange peel, and Chelsea and I have applied the first coat of finish to all of the new drywall. At the beginning of day 3, Bear and Ryan began installing new crown molding and base molding throughout the addition to help it match the existing house.
You know what we're going to do is we're going to extend this, pour just a little section of concrete here.
Okay, and
so
we want
that
it to
this
be
comes
flush?
up. Yeah.
Okay, and then where's our line? Even with the wall?
Yeah,
or?
even with the wall.
All right, Rachel, have you ever mixed concrete before?
I have not.
We're just gonna mix it right in here. And this stuff's cool because it's fast setting. So
Oh, it's
set up
really thin.
in like 30 minutes or so. Sorry, Lisa. See what you mean. And then if you can pick up the bucket and pour a little bit of water in at a time so we get just the right consistency.
Once the concrete is mixed, they shovel it into the forms and begin packing it in place. Working a trowel back and forth on top of the slab and the form board smooths and levels the surface.
This helps get rid of any air bubbles that are in the mixture and helps them rise up so it doesn't like honeycomb once it's dry. Just a little bit.
So Chelsea, what happened here?
That looks like
I
your
didn't see her
size,
take it off.
I really did not realize that I had stepped in it until everybody was like, Rachel, what are you doing? So then I tried to hide the fact that I did it and blame it on Danny, but then he called me out on it.
Looks to me like it's that foot. Let's see
That
that
looks
foot.
like your foot.
No, let's see your foot right there. Let me see the bottom of your foot.
That one's clean.
Let's see the other
That
one.
looks like a right foot.
Let's see the other.
That was pretty clever. She was like, oh no, I didn't do it. Let me see your other shoe. Rachel, seriously, you just helped me pour it.
I was helping you pack it in.
Wow.
She made it look so perfect as she was doing it, and I put my big old foot right in it. So.
Meanwhile, Randy and his crew return to install the inside unit for the air conditioner. This unit looks simple, but it includes some great high-tech features like an infrared sensor to reduce energy usage when the room is unoccupied and a built-in Wi-Fi control. While I touch up the new drywall and add some texture to the surface, the ladies start painting the outside walls.
I've always claimed to be a pretty messy painter, but this takes it to a whole new level. Not everyone knows that a camera lens can also double as a mirror.
You know, over the years, I've built a lot of additions that'll be on the same wall as the kitchen. Generally on an outside wall, you'll have a window directly over the kitchen sink to give you a little bit of natural light. We didn't want to do away with that, so we've created a pass-through, and to really make it perfect for serving drinks and food out into this area, I just need a nice little flat surface here. I'm going to accomplish that by putting a 1x12 here, and then we can paint it and trim it, and it should look great. The 1x12 will overhang the opening a bit, so I'm notching each side to give it a more finished appearance. Next, we'll install some leftover flooring from Lisa's family room to cover the threshold of the new cased opening.
All right, so you can already appreciate the difference that molding makes in this room.
Very much so.
But it's gonna be even better once we get it caulked.
Okay.
So have you ever worked a caulk gun before? Okay, so all you have to do is run it along,
Okay.
and then you can use this damp rag to just wipe it off and smooth it out. Caulk the top of the baseboard and then work on the crown molding and putty all the holes.
So how many of these nail holes are there?
Our goal this week was to rescue Lisa's Den addition, and I think we've succeeded, making it more attractive and more comfortable.
It actually used to look like a cave in there. It kind of closed in with the bricks, and it made it look even longer and more narrow. But with this sheetrock, it has opened it up. It is brighter, and it's so much lighter in there, and it actually looks like a real room. It is absolutely stunning. It has made such a difference to my home. It doubled my living area because now I can use the area where the hot tub was. The crown molding made such a big difference in that room out there. It really dressed it up. I can now sit in my living room and have light. It was always very dark in there. We crammed a lot of work in, and to have done what we did in that short amount of time, although it was tiring, it was worth every moment of it, and I think I would do it again.
One of our main missions in this project was to take out all of the awkwardness that made it look like an addition. Certainly getting rid of the window air conditioner helped, and covering up the bricks and removing the windows that obviously was the original back part of the house certainly made a big difference. And we had a lot of help from Rachel and Lisa to really transform this entire place. So this looks a lot more like that. Hey, I'm Danny Lipford. I hope you enjoyed seeing this transformation, and I hope you'll join us next week right here on Today's Homeowner. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.